Good afternoon, everyone, or good evening, or good morning. People who registered for this class on Zoom, as I can see on the screen. Thank you for joining our class. And then people who are watching on YouTube, although I can't see you, it's also good to have you here. Well, you can't see, but I always when I always come here, maybe some of them have been here in this place where we are sort of doing this Zen class. Before it was offline, so you could sit together in this wide room. It's much wider than you can see on the screen. It's just 1/3 of it, maybe. It's much bigger and much wider. So there are many people who can come here. And every time I come here, I feel really grateful because for people who can see me on the screen, you can see only me and then the bell and the altar and the fragment of the room. But if I turn the camera, you can see it looks like a recording studio. You have people sitting here where I can wave to them, and you have computers, you have microphones, you have camera, you have iPhone, the screen, table, many things. Of course, instruments to play. I'm not saying drums or something, but Buddhist instruments, big bells, and you have many things here. And I always feel really grateful because the people my friends who are sitting here with me now, although you can't see them, they do it so that the event could take place. So they always ask me, oh, is the temperature is not too high or not too low? You feel comfortable, or so I feel like a baby, which is babysitted somehow. But then at the same time, because of that, well, I can meet you and we can talk in a most comfortable fashion. And at the same time, when I talk to you, for example, and then I have the opportunity to sit a period of Zazen with you, even if it's a short time, only like 20 or something minutes. Still, sometimes I get an email from some of you or some message, and then people say, oh, thank you for this talk, or maybe thank you for meeting, thank you for sitting together, we need it now, or I need it now, or you sort of made me happy, or these words like that. But then when I think about it, the question, or sort of I realize that, well, this is what it's supposed to be. I mean, you know, people who are coming here, I said my friends who are sitting here, they arranging there, they don't do it for me. Like, oh, I do it for this person, I do it for them. They just do it because this is their job, right? Their job is to prepare the room for the event, which is called ZEN class, and it takes time, and it takes place once a month. At the same time, my job is, or what am I supposed to do? Well, I'm supposed to say to you a few words, greet you, share some thoughts about Buddha Dharma, and then spend some time or give instructions to you how to sit in sitting meditation in Zazen, and then spend this time with you, and then say bye-bye. And this is what my job is, here at least. So if I come here and I start to dance, for example, or I start to sort of do different kind of strange thing, I bring some Coca-Cola, let's have a party or something, so then some of you probably say, well, what is he doing? Well, maybe some of you would like it, because, oh, it's so much fun now. But it's not my job, you know. I don't feel competent in doing any different thing, because this is not what my job is. At the same time, when I see, when I mention my friends here who prepare the room and they arrange the whole event, give information online, etc., etc., if they don't do what they are supposed to do, and instead they sort of, I don't know, do something else, or maybe inform people about some different event, or maybe mistake the dates, and then they, you know, upload some pictures from some completely different, some rock concert or something. So then, you know, you wouldn't see me, you wouldn't take part in this event either. So the thing is, what if we do what we are supposed to do, without even thinking that, oh, this is because I do it for this person, or maybe because I do it for myself, then it happens naturally as it's supposed to happen. You don't have to sort of put yourself into the thing that you are doing. For example, when I come here to this place by train, but then when you go to work, you can go to work, for example, by bus. And there is a bus driver who takes you on the bus too, or takes many people, I don't know, 30 or something people who are on board, and then they go with him on the bus. He doesn't get up in the morning and he doesn't vow to his wife, probably like, oh, I'm going to do today's driving, I'm going to dedicate to my, I don't know, to this young lady who is sitting there at the back of the bus, or I'm going to do this for Mr. John or for Miss Nancy or something. He's doing his job because what is he supposed to do? He's supposed to drive a bus, a vehicle. When he drives a vehicle, then he does it in a way that he was supposed to do, in a way that is according to the rules, to the regulations, and then we can guarantee, or it can guarantee, that you have a safe trip from A point to the B point, which is your destination. If you do it, if he does it, for example, for one person who is sitting just behind him, and he sees this person in the rear view mirror, so then probably he would be sort of too concentrated maybe on this one person and completely ignoring all the rest, and he would have an accident. Or maybe other people would not be happy with the ride, or whatever. It could come to different kind of problems. But it doesn't happen because he does what he's supposed to do. And at the same time with your family, when you are father, when you are husband, when you are wife, when you are, I don't know, you have your role in society. When you do what you're supposed to do, everything goes smoothly. So from our perspective, from the perspective of a Buddhist practitioner, whether it's Zen practitioner or in general, I would say a meditator or meditation practitioner, if you do what you're supposed to do and you continue with your practice, then I believe everything is going to be fine. But sometimes, why I'm saying that now? Because, well, you know that we have another sort of, for the last 2 years we had this difficult time with the so-called pandemic, and then all the restrictions and lockdowns and different kind of things like ups and downs, and people started to be neurotic, and many people were completely devastated, not only financially but also like mentally. They got completely confused. And now we have, as you know, the situation, the conflict in Ukraine, in Europe, and at the same time now one sort of stage finished, and then we are again living through the fear, watching the media all the time, or YouTube, or different kind of news, seeing the scenes, horrible scenes from the Eastern Europe, and then sometimes I get an email like, what can I do for these people as far as my practice? Because sometimes for example, in this Soto Zen tradition, you sit facing the wall. How can you help people facing the wall? I mean, why are we doing that? Is it not like waste of time? I got an email like that. I should go there and help people, or do something else. But what about what does the practice have to do with life? One person wrote. But I remember my first teacher many years ago. I was here with him at that time, and then one person, his mother, I think his mother or his father, I don't remember, died, and then this person asked, what can I do to help him, or what can I do to help her, to help my parent who died? And then my teacher said, continue with your practice. Continue with your practice. If your practice is sitting meditation, so continue with your sitting meditation. If your practice is counting breaths, so continue with counting breaths. If your practice is reciting the name of the Buddha, or maybe some visualization in some different tradition, continue with your practice. Because you are supposed to practice, and this is what you're supposed to do. So when we find times of adversity, like last year or 2 years ago, and again this year, many horrible things happen. The most difficult thing, I guess, is to find this confidence in the Buddha Dharma and continue with your practice. And then if you continue with your practice, having confidence in the Buddha Dharma, as my friend from Poland said, as maybe you know, in Poland, the situation is also grave because there have been, I guess, over almost 2.5 million refugees from Ukraine in Poland. And Polish people really kind and with wholehearted help, and they do whatever they want without any governmental support. They take these people, women and children to their houses, and they give them food. We made some donations, many other things that are really great. But then some of them extreme, like they forgot about the practice, formal practice, and they sort of, there's no, I don't have time for that, now I'm sort of volunteer. So this is sort of one extreme. And then another extreme, no, I don't watch news, I don't watch anything, this is nothing, this has nothing to do with me, I just come here and I just practice. So we have these two extremes, and people get sort of confused, but we often forget that from the perspective of a practitioner, we are supposed to practice, which is very difficult, and which is so much challenging. Because without finding this confidence in the Buddha Dharma, we are sort of swayed, like smacked by the wind from west to the east, or from east to the west. And then I got an email from my friend from Poland, and she said, oh, now we have difficult times because there are many people dying here just near the border, and there are also many people who come here, and then they don't have food, they don't have medicine, we have to send them different kind of support, and it's really difficult. But fortunately, we have the Buddha Dharma. And then it made me realize, yeah, this is actually something that many of us forget. The confidence or the faith in the Buddha Dharma. When we have the refuge in the Buddha, when we have the refuge in the Dharma, when we have the refuge in the Sangha, this is the most precious treasures that we have. And once we have confidence in these three treasures, and we really feel confident in that, then whatever we do, whether we take this path, whether we take that path, whether we make this decision, whether we make other decisions, all the things that we do spring up from this confidence of the Buddha Dharma. So if we can say then our life is sort of integrated life, or we live in integration. We are integrated self. Everything comes up from that. Even if we go to the cinema and we play, even if we our marriage life or our relationship with others, whatever you do, your diet, your every aspect of your life, it's rooted in this confidence in the Buddha Dharma. Once it's like that, it gives you confidence, and it gives you strength, it gives you faith, and then from that point, every decision that you take, as I said, or every move that you take, or every step that you take, springs up from the ground of the Buddha Dharma. Otherwise, it's all fragmented. So in the morning we are Buddhists, at noon we are businessmen, and in the afternoon we are, Christians. In the evening we go to the party, and then sort of it's sort of everything comes from a different place. And then when we want to help other people, or when we want to decide about something in our company, or we do whatever we have some problem with friends, we don't know what to do, because we all are sort of we lack this integrity in our life, and it often happens, and especially it's challenging now at the times of conflict, or at the times of uncertainty, adversity, that nothing seems to go according to what we think, or according to what we would like it to go. So this finding confidence in the Buddha Dharma and doing what we are supposed to do, I believe, should be the very fundament of our practice. And then when we continue with that, without even thinking, oh, I do it for this person, or I do it for that person, or at the same time, or maybe I do it for myself or something. You don't have to engage these thoughts in your practice. You do practice for the practice. You do Buddha Dharma for the Buddha Dharma. You practice Buddha Dharma for the Buddha Dharma, and then it takes care of itself. So, of course, it's difficult, and I don't want to sort of sound like I'm moralizing, because for me it's also a practice, and it's not so easy to find yourself within what is happening, especially when you see, as I'm from Poland, some of you know, it's really painful to see what is happening there, and I haven't been there for a while. I don't know if I have a chance to go this year, as it seems not a good idea to go. But at the same time, I have parents there, I have family, I have friends, and it's obvious I want to meet them and do something for them. But as my friends in the email say, but we have the Buddha Dharma. But we have the Buddha Dharma. And we know what we are supposed to do. We know that the Buddha Dharma is our ultimate refuge. Whatever happens, whether it's some illness, whether it's some danger, whether it's some conflict, even if on a relative plane, it's really challenging and really painful and confusing and disheartening sometimes. Normal, ordinary human things. But on the ultimate level, we know that we find this refuge in the Buddha Dharma, and it gives us strength, it gives us confidence, it gives us this competence to deal in a rightful way, when we meet this or that situation. So I would like myself and you also to not to lose the track, and remind yourself that do I have confidence in my practice, or do I have confidence in the Buddha Dharma, and how do I feel, or what it gives me on the path of our practice. This is really something that sort of brings us back to the fundament, to the very ground of where we have started maybe many years ago. But on the way we sort of were swayed, and we ended up in this or that place. But again, coming back to the very ground, to the very starting point. Maybe this is called, as in Zen we say, a beginner's mind. As one of the Zen masters said, Zen mind, beginner's mind. Beginner's mind is, at least as far as I understand, it doesn't mean that you behave like a baby and you sort of, oh, I forgot who I am, or I sort of, I drool, and then I don't know where to put my spoon because I have a beginner mind. It's not like that. It's not a baby. It's not a baby's mind. But beginner's mind, it means more like having this, coming back to this straight position, as we have some of you maybe know the Daruma-do. In Japanese we say Daruma-do, my favorite one. In the West you have Barbie dolls. in Japan you have Daruma dolls. I don't know if young girls play with Daruma dolls, probably not. But you have this Daruma doll which is a round sort of shape of a doll, which is round and red, and which is very heavy at the bottom. So when you put it on the ground and you kick it, you push it, you throw it somewhere, it always comes back to you always sit on its bottom. It never, you cannot do anything with that. It never goes upside down. It always comes, and then like a cat, who is when you throw a cat. Well, usually we don't throw cats, but when you throw a cat, maybe some people do. Or maybe a cat falls from the tree or from a high place. It always sort of falls on these four paws, right? Four legs. So in the same way, this Dharma, you kick it, you push it, you do whatever you want with that. It never falls down. It always comes back to the straight position. This is what beginner's mind is. It doesn't mean you cling to yourself, oh no, I know everything, and not like that. It means you have this, what do you call it? The flexibility or softness of the mind. Then even if you have adverse situation, even if you have some conflict, even if you have some difficulty, even if you have something that in a way doesn't go according to your plan, we would say, then you have this spacious within you to come back to to the vertical position, and you are on your legs. You stand your ground. You stand your ground, and then from that ground, you know where to go, what to do, what not to do, or what to say, what not to say. You know where to say yes. Sometimes it's necessary to say no, but you have this ability. You have this competence. You have this spaciousness within yourself to know that this is right. Not right in this sort of moral sense, but this is how things should be. Because you are doing what you're supposed to. But very often we lack this beginner's mind, as we say, and then we sort of throw ourselves into this or that thing, even if it's not the area that we are supposed to do. So for example, for last year, many politicians, instead of doing politics, they were commenting or analyzing or advising on medical issues. And then, for example, many priests, for example, they do business. Or many businessmen, they started to become politicians. Or maybe, so you do what you're not supposed to do, and then we are where we are. We are where we are. But once we do what we're supposed to do, it seems so much easier. And it seems that the world goes, even without our wanting to the world to be like that, or the world not to be like that. So when we come back to our practice and say, what can I do with my practice to help others? Well, in your practice, it's not the essence of the Buddhist practice is not to help others in a sense that like being a volunteer or fireman or a nurse or something. The practice is to take care of the practice, and you do practice for the sake of the practice. And once you do according to what the Buddhist rules and what your teacher, what your tradition tells you to do, and you do it accordingly, then naturally the result should be good. So I wouldn't worry about this. How can I help others now, or when they are in a difficult situation? When we do our practice, I think this is the most important thing. Of course, it doesn't mean that we should be cold to others or indifferent to others. No, when they need help, we help them. When something happens and then we know that this is what we're supposed to do, we do what we're supposed to do. But again, this all comes from this competence or from this confidence in the Buddha Dharma. It all gives us the strength, and it gives us the clear insight into what is happening all around. Otherwise, we are like the Dharma doll, but without this heavy thing in his butt. So then you push it, or someone pushes you, and you just roll away. Or you fall down and you have no strength to get up. You don't have this softness so that you come back to your starting point, to the beginner's mind. So please remember about this in your practice, so that it's not such only like a down sitting, but there is also this aspect of wisdom that should come out of that, and we should check it how much or what it gives us on the level of our practice, and then how it is reflected in our daily life, whether it's family, whether it's friends relationship or society, etc. So let's spend a few minutes together now sitting in silence. If you sit in a formal position, so you on the cushion, so please take a comfortable seat in a full lotus or half lotus position. Be aware, or be careful not to sit on the center part of the cushion, but on the verge, on the verge of the cushion. Then it gives you a nice, naturally straight position, so that it becomes effortless. You don't have to make any additional effort. You don't have to put yourself into the position, into the posture itself. The posture takes care of itself without your heart in it. And spend a while seeing how you feel. you put your hands on your lap, and you put your left hand on your right hand. Be careful so that your shoulders don't slump in this smartphone position, but you open them. You can, before you sit, you can open your arms, sort of stretch out your arms, and then you fold them here. So usually we spend our lives like that, watching all the time the news on smartphone, and then when you put your hands like that, you sit like that. So then put away your smartphone or whatever you're using, and then come back to this straight position, and then you fold your hands. And take care also of this mudra here, as we say. In Zen we say cosmic mudra. Why it's called cosmic mudra? Well, you can imagine that you have the whole globe here, the earth, your mother earth here, and you take care of it. So you have the USA here, maybe Japan here, you have Ukraine here, you have Russia here, I don't know, you have France here, Poland here, Germany, well, Brazil somewhere here. Oh, it's too low here. Okay. And then you have the whole globe, the whole world, and you take care of it in your practice. So your practice includes everything, every being, and you take care of it. You promise to take care of everything, or everyone. To include them in your silence. You have the whole world here. Many things happen here, you see? People here are fighting, here people are struggling, here people are dying, here people are having a party, here people maybe are sunbathing somewhere in Hawaii or somewhere else, people here are drinking some beer, people here are doing Zazen, here maybe, I don't know, someone killed someone, different other things, but then you take care of all of it, and you make it into a nice ball, like you make a snowball, and then you put it here on your lap and you say, okay, I will take care of you, right? Don't crush it, because then you will go to prison. Or don't release it, because it's a ball, so then it rolls away, and you have to run after it, okay? So take care of it. And don't close your eyes. Just let them be as they are, naturally open. Don't concentrate on anything. And breathe naturally. And be like an air. Let's do today's practice like an air meditation, or like air Zazen. When you have when you have an in-breath, you embrace all the beings. And when you have the out-breath, you breathe in all of your air into everyone's chests, so that they are protected by you, and then they feel happy, because the air is what we need the most, right? So when you take in breath, you take all these beings, and then out breath, you give them the air, filling them in, making them smile, making them happy, feel happy. So there is no distinction between you and others. Just one thing on the cushion. Okay? Don't make it into a thought. Just sort of be aware of it. You don't have to visualize anything. Just make an intention and then drop everything, and let's spend some time in silence. is it for today, for this month's meeting on YouTube, and we will switch to Zoom now. Maybe I was just thinking next time when we meet on the 20th of April, on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Japanese time. If you are free, if you would like to join, please do. Maybe at the time we will do 2 rounds of Zazen, not 1, and maybe some walking meditation also in between kinki. But let me think what it looks like, or how I can arrange it as far as time, and so we will see. But probably we will. So please join if you have time, and I wish you everything best, and especially to my friends from Poland and also from other European countries, especially Eastern European countries where the situation is really grave and horrible things happen. I pray that this conflict will not escalate, and it will end as soon as possible. And we keep you all in our hearts. And yes, and thank you. Continue your practice, and let's make the world a better place, as like Michael Jackson was singing probably, but he said heal the world. We could say just sit the world. So I believe that by just sitting we can find this calmness, and that the more of us sit, the world is indeed a better place. So let us find this peacefulness and calmness in our hearts, and may there be as much silence in your life as you can, as it is possible.